welcome to the League of Melanated Gentlemen podcast. I'm Spenser, and I'm one of your hosts on this podcast that we do, and I'm joined today by the other two members of the League of Melanated Gentlemen who have come here today to, get a little uncomfortable, perhaps. We're going to see.
This is Brandon.
And I'm Jordan.
Now, you've been here before, and if you haven't, welcome, and thank you for joining us. Jordan is going to tell you a couple things, a couple pieces of information that are vital to your communication with us. Jordan, if you would.
Yeah, so we are on social media. We are pushing that thing like we're pushing P. Follow us on Facebook, X, Instagram, YouTube. Follow us all there, and we're all under the League of Melanated Gentlemen podcast, or you can search LMG podcast, or you can just Google us. We are able to be Googled. You can, do that if you wish. But yeah, that's where you can find us on all our social medias. Be sure to join the Facebook group if you would like to, hit us up, contact us, start a conversation with us. Yeah, that's where you can hit us up. Also, scheduling reminders. Of course, our episodes drop on Mondays, but on Wednesdays, we have Wrestling with Worldwide Willis. That is Brandon's wrestling podcast. And you know how Brandon does. He gets down, he talks about the latest events and matches that's going on. And, he likes to give his top fives. And then every other Friday, you can check out DC Animation with Spenser and Friends. That is Spenser's DC Animation podcast, where he reviews every single one of the DC animated movies. If you know anything about DC animated movies, you'll know they are top tier animation. And so, yeah, be sure to check out all of those podcasts and follow us on social medias, like, subscribe, rate and review us as well on Spotify and Apple Music or whatever other podcast, streaming service you use. And yeah, there we have it.
Alrighty. Excellent. So, today's episode is, something that, Brandon, was this your idea?
This was.
Okay, you want to talk about it? You want to let the people know what's happening here?
Absolutely. So as you know, if you've been listening to us, we all have our things that we like, our things that we enjoy, the things that we, call home as far as content is concerned. And we've all thrown jabs at each other for liking certain things. So I thought it was a good idea to have an episode where each of us had to step out of our comfort zone a little bit. So the premise of this episode is each member of the League of Melanated Gentlemen had to basically require the next member to watch a certain show, right, that is out of their comfort zone. So, for example, I gave Jordan a show to watch that was out of his comfort zone. Who gave me mine? Was it you, Spenser? Okay. Spenser gave me a show to watch, and Jordan gave Spenser a show to watch. So all of us basically passed along a show that we knew was not in the other person's normal realm of watching shows. So, yeah, so it should be fun. We all had to watch a required amount of shows. We all had to watch 5 episodes. And, should be a good time. And we're going to just discuss, how each person, their experience with the show was. And maybe if it changed their mind on that certain piece of content or that area of expertise, we shall see.
Yeah, that is it's an interesting concept. This was one I was not expecting at all, I will say. And we'll have to talk about it and how we felt about it and how we came up with the shows. But yeah. It's interesting to say the least.
Who do we think should go first?
I'm curious. I'm curious to see Brandon go first because we definitely, the show it was recommended to him was definitely one that is interesting to say the least. Yeah, I think Brandon should go first. So Spenser, how about we start with you by asking you, what show did you choose for Brandon and why did you choose it?
The show that I chose for Brandon to watch was Attack on Titan.
Oof.
And I selected Attack on Titan for a few reasons. One, Brandon has spoken very disparagingly about anime kind of in general. Like Brandon is not a big anime guy, like not a fan. Not a fan at
Mhm.
all. Brandon also is not a huge fan of pretty graphic violence from what I can tell. Just
Mhm.
based on what we've discussed. Other than like John Wick,
Right.
which is kind of an exception.
Mhm.
I think that Brandon generally leans away from violence for the sake of violence.
Right.
And Attack on Titan is both of those things. Attack on Titan is an anime, and Attack on Titan is highly violent.
Yeah.
So very outside of Brandon's comfort zone. Where it might be within Brandon's comfort zone, though, is we have it's a very different kind of coming of age story.
Right.
Definitely.
Very very different style of coming of age, and there's something very specific that I want to see if Brandon saw. Now, we only required 5 episodes of viewing, so because Attack on Titan is kind of this, um I guess I would call Attack on Titan this generation of kids like top anime. You know how like
Yeah.
every generation there's a different one. I feel like either Attack on Titan or My Hero is at the top right now, and they may be
As far as
sharing that top spot.
storytelling, as far as storytelling, I would agree. Attack on Titan is definitely top tier. Character wise, maybe not so much, but there is one character that is probably going to be in the conversation for a very long time. But yeah, story wise, I agree.
So yeah, but because Attack on Titan is like right now's most popular anime, probably arguably the most popular anime of the 2020s, arguably. Um
Mhm.
I thought that this was a good choice for Brandon to see how he felt about it, because again, it's got a lot of hype behind it. There are a lot of people who, and Attack on Titan is one of those shows. There's not a lot of in the middle. You either absolutely love it or you absolutely hate it. I
Right.
have not heard very many people who have watched Attack on Titan feel about it.
Right.
And so that is how we got here. It Attack on Titan is a lot of things, and what I wanted to see was, because I know that for me, Attack on Titan was a show that doesn't give you a whole lot early. And so you got to watch to figure out what's like, you're going to be lost for a while. And
Yeah,
that is on purpose. And then later they start explaining stuff and you're like, "Oh, okay." Yeah, like it starts to make sense, it starts to click, but they do not do that very early. Like it takes a while before you start to understand really anything. And so I wanted to see if it would reel him in. I wanted to see if that story would capture him and make him want to continue to see what the deal was. Because there are a few things that do happen.
in this first episode, yeah,
In the first episode, there are a lot of things that happen. Um, but there are some things I wanted to see if you would notice, some things I wanted to see if you would pick up on, but I don't know if you got far enough to pick up on certain things that I think are happening in this show. But because there's a coming of age aspect and because there's a lot of politics in this show,
Mhm.
I wanted to see how you felt and if it made you want to keep going.
All right. I wasn't expecting to go first. I was hoping to simmer on this a little more, but I'm ready. I'm ready. All right. As you guys know, as you guys have explained, anime is not my jam by any means. It's an art form that I respect. However, not a art form that I would voluntarily choose. So this is a good exercise. I wouldn't have never watched it if other than this exercise. Um, so I'll just give you my notes that I wrote. Okay. All right. To start, really good premise, a good premise, right? A good thought. Like, okay, that kind of reminds me, not Hunger Games, but Maze Runner, stuff like that. It kind of reminds me of like a civilization protecting themselves, having a kind of survival and kind of protect themselves from an outside enemy. I like the premise. Like Spencer said, had a political element to it, which I did enjoy. I like that part. And I like how like the closer you got into it, the more the elite people were staying at, I guess. And they kind of put the non-elite kind of closer to the Giants to be, kind of fodder for them. I will say this, Aaron, one of the most unlikable characters I've ever watched. um, I
Yep.
mean, it was literally from jump. I was like, bruh, you're on a 10. You're at a 10 right now. I need you to come down to a 6. Oh, I don't know what I'm going to do. The revenge. I got to get revenge. I was like, bro, relax. Like, what are you? Like, everything was a monologue and like a very like corny, like superhero monologue type of thing. Like, it was just like, if they kill my mom, I have to get them back. It was just like, bro. And everybody else is just like walking around normal. And he's like over the top intense. And yeah, he was unlikable. I was just like, I can't with this guy. Like, and that's kind of what Jordan said. Like, character wise, there was no character that captured me at all. Like, I could care less about any of the characters. None of them were interesting whatsoever. I was just like, okay, let's get to the Giants. I felt like a casual Star Wars fan. Like, let's get to the lightsabers. Like, let's get to the Giants. I want to see them killing people. That's the only reason I'm here. I thought the animation was good. I thought they did a really good job of like making you make the Giants feel kind of creepy and look, you know what I mean? They did a good job of making them look, scary and looking like a real threat.
Some
the
of them
big
look
one,
real weird.
yeah, they look wild, honestly.
And that's the thing,
What do you
like,
think about
you've only seen a couple of them, and that's
Yeah. Bro, the people who drew those, I would worry about those people's mental health. Whoever drew those people.
I'll say in the way they're running? How
Yeah,
you feel
like
about that?
it was weird to me. Like, especially what did they call the ones that were like not inhumans, but abnormals, something like that. I remember the one in the last episode 5, that was like I think he called him abnormal. He was like crawling on all fours and he jumped at him. Um,
I know
but
what you're talking about, but yeah, I don't remember
I
what they
say
yeah,
call it.
there's one specific Titan that uses all fours, the Cart Titan. I don't like that thing.
yeah.
Yeah, I think it's weird, but I mean, Brandon is nowhere near that.
I
I
know,
don't think
but
I'm.
I'm
Yeah,
just saying I don't like that thing.
yeah.
I don't like that thing
Um,
one bit.
I like the Big Titan. Obviously, I didn't. I'm only went to 5 episodes, so I didn't really get the backstory, any of that. But he was cool. He could show up, pop up. That was cool. He was bigger than all the other ones. That was dope. And he was intelligent apparently, and had a brain, thoughts of its own. Um, the goriness didn't necessarily throw me off. Like, it wasn't like, I guess it was for a reason, right? Like, Titans, they feed on humans. It was kind of like expected. It wasn't people just randomly exploding or anything, random or anything like that. It was kind of, all the gore was kind of purposeful, which was fine with me. And when the mom got 8, I was like, damn,
Yeah,
that's
that's gonna ask
tough.
you. How did you feel about that first thing? Because in the first episode, we see like the big one, like his mom get eaten, and that was
Yeah,
like the most blood that just came out.
yeah, that was tough because I mean, I guess he dreamed of it beforehand, and then to see that like come to fruition was crazy. And yeah, like the blood splattered everywhere. That was crazy, but nah, overall solid. I ain't gonna hold you. I ain't gonna lie. I was kind of excited to watch episode 5. Um,
Okay.
the ending was kind of weird to me though. But like Aaron, I was like, if Aaron dies, that's good, great. But the way it ended, where his arm getting chewed off, and him, I guess that giant swallowing him. I'm sure he's gonna recover somehow, some way. But that was a weird. I don't know. He saved the other kid to throw him out to then voluntarily get his arm chopped off and then go on the stuff. I was like, why don't you just jump out with him? But
Wait, wait,
uh,
wait, wait. in episode 5, do you see what happens to Aaron? That might be episode 6 then.
No,
Yep.
because episode 5,
I
the
think
Giants.
it is.
No, it's episode 5 because the Giants
No, I'm
come
saying
in.
like
So what
happens
happens to
to him
Aaron? What
after.
happens to Aaron? Do you see what happens
Oh
to him
no,
after?
no, no, that's what I'm saying. I did not see. Only thing
Oh,
I see
Brandon,
is when he
hey,
gets eaten.
Keep
Yeah,
going.
you might have to keep going, Brandon.
Keep going.
I
You
don't
might have to
know.
keep going.
This is why I chose Attack on Titan.
Oh yeah, and I
You might
guess
have
we
to
have
keep
to
going.
say. I guess we all can add this to our synopsis if we will keep going or not. I mean, I'm not
And a
gonna
scale of
lie.
1 to 10.
Yeah, on a scale of 1 to 10, if I'm gonna keep going, I'll give you a solid 6.5. I'm interested more like I call there's a word called a completionist, I guess, and people who start stuff who have to finish it.
Yep.
And I feel like
Yeah.
I'm one of those people. Like it still haunts me to this day. I haven't finished Arrow, I haven't finished Flash, Supergirl. Like it still haunts me. So like eventually I will finish them just out of saying I finished them. So that's part of it. But also, I mean, the story is solid. You know what I mean? So it's like, and like I said, the political aspect that kind of drew me in a little bit. And then the dad
You
just,
just
I was
getting
like,
started.
yeah, I was like, where the fuck, where the dad go? Like, where did that nigga go? So I didn't kind of want to see what happens with that and what he got injected with. I don't know. I want to see all that stuff. I don't know. So yeah, 6.5 out of 10, maybe a 7. Who knows? We'll see. But it was better than I thought it was going to be. I'll say that.
That's what I was hoping, is that you would feel that way.
Yeah,
I
it wasn't.
wish we can just spoil. I wish we could just tell you what happened. Because I mean,
You gotta watch it.
I think this. So I first watched this show on Netflix. It was used to be on Netflix. That was when I first came across Attack on Titan. And the show, I looked at the show. It dropped in 2013. I think I probably caught it in 2014 or so. That episode 6 is what really pulled me in.
Gotcha.
So like you haven't even got to see what happens to Aaron yet. That I think that might have been the one that gets me. And I will say in anime, oftentimes the first like 6 to 8 episodes are like a first arc within inside. Like so in comics, we got the first arc.
Right.
Like those first like few are like one arc, but episode 6 I feel like is when it really starts to kick it up. And I will say, and also sometimes anime, like once you get to like episode like I feel like it's between like 10 and 13, that's when like everything just starts going on. Because a lot of times anime are like 24 episodes for like a season, depending on like what show it is. And that's like the midway point for it almost. And so that's when it starts to kick it up. So like I feel like I don't remember how many episodes this first season was, but if it is 24, which I guess I should have looked it up. But if it is 24, it's like you would have been getting close to like, the high rising part of it.
And what I will say about Attack on Titan that I feel like is different from other anime is that it limits the number of filler episodes, because
for sure.
Anime are famous or infamous for filler episodes, and Attack on Titan, they keep shit going.
Yeah.
Like you want to explain like what filler is for people?
A long time. So
if they don't
generally speaking, when you have an anime show that is 500 episodes, all 500 of those episodes are not moving in the same direction. Filler episodes are usually episodes that are flashbacks in most cases, not always, but usually filler episodes are flashbacks so that you have context for something that is happening right in the actual story. So using Naruto as an example, there was this spoiler for Naruto Shippuden. There was this great ninja war. And in the Great Ninja War, there was a person who brought back a bunch of dead people to fight on his behalf. So during the Great Ninja War, we would run into somebody who was dead, who we had never seen before. And then we would see that person have a conversation with somebody who's still alive, be like, oh my God, it's you. And then we would get 3 episodes of backstory for that person.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
And so that's what filler is in most cases. Filler is just providing context or kind of elongating a situation to provide some background. But a lot of times it's like, I don't care about that. And sometimes the filler is not super interesting. Usually the filler is like even if there's action scenes and stuff in the filler, like it's usually not as good as what's happening today. Usually.
I feel like Dragon Ball Z had a lot of, and they
Yeah.
weren't
Anime,
necessarily,
anime in general. Like
yeah,
that's
but like I just remember Dragon Ball Z would just be like dudes standing off talking for an entire episode. And it's like, let's get to the battle. Like,
Yeah. Yeah.
but
Season 1 for Attack on Titan did have 25 episodes. So yeah, I feel like once you got to like 6 and then you got to like that 13 mid mark, like it really started to pick up.
yeah, and that's the thing. Like you will have a lot of questions, and then you will just feel so good once those questions get answered. You'll be like, like that. It's Attack on Titan is satisfying in that way, in
yeah,
that like there are a lot of things you want to know, and when they start telling you stuff, it's like, oh my god, this is what I needed.
I will say I have a coworker of mine. I was telling him about this episode we're doing, and oh, you got to keep going, you got to keep going, blah blah blah. I was just like, we'll see, we'll see. Now this is before I watched episode 5. Before that, I was like, episode 5. I ain't gonna lie, it kind of moved the needle a little bit for me in a positive direction. Before that, I was like, I don't know, bro. Like, I don't care about any characters, so it's kind of hard for me. Usually, I care about somebody at this point. So
I will say Aaron is unlikable. That is absolutely true.
yeah, like
And
I was out early on him.
and the thing is, I want you to see if that changes later,
Okay,
because Aaron goes through some shit and makes a change.
I'm
okay.
telling you, this is probably one of the greatest modern day storytelling of like our day. The story is top tier, like tens across the board, nines across, like it's top tier. Like I looked at it, it has a 95% on Rotten Tomatoes. IMDb has it at a 9.10, has 9.10, 9 out of 10, and Crunchyroll has it at 4.8 out of 5. And the story's not over yet. The story's almost over. In the manga, like the reading of it is done, but the anime itself is almost done. They've been having a final season for like 3
Did you
years.
read it all?
I've never read it because I'm weird. Like some shows, I prefer to watch anime only, and then some shows I can't wait. So then I'll start reading it. But this is one like I have to see animated. Also, I mean, this is probably going way into the weeds, but Studio Mappa is who the studio who draws it
Mm.
and animates it, and I love them. They're top tier in my opinion, and so I've been enjoying it.
I
So that's
My first exposure to Attack on Titans, or the Titans in general, was a comic book. It was like I read a comic and then had a little like short, like at the end, like a 2-page little short
there's a
story at
free
the
comic
end.
book day.
It may have been, but it was like a crossover almost. And like the Titans were attacking the city, and so they had to fight them or whatever. But I didn't know who the hell these things were. It's funny because like when they were in the show, when I was watching Attack on Titan, they were talking about how like the neck is the vulnerable point, and
With Nate.
I thought of Ninja Turtles, how they were talking about Attack on Titan, like when they were trying to
Yeah,
kill the
yeah, you got the
yeah
reference now.
yeah. I was like, oh, okay, yeah, it all makes sense now.
Yeah, you got the reference now.
Yeah, pretty good though.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Um. Yeah. I just want you to. I want you to keep going.
I may just for for the podcast sake, I may, but we shall see. You know what I mean? I'm not an anime person, but this was not bad.
I
And
will
and
say, if you
I want
continue,
the
you definitely got to give updates.
yeah,
and I wanted this to also be kind of an example of the wideness as far as genre, as far as anime, because anime encompasses a lot of stuff, and so to say you don't like anime just at all, okay, I mean we've challenged that every time you said it,
mm,
and this kind of I was hoping that this would speak to the fact that because there's so many different genres of anime, uh whether you like it or not, there are anime you like and anime you hate. That applies
right.
to everyone everywhere. Because it's so vast and it's so expansive as far as what's available in that genre. Like anime has subgenres because anime has some of everything. I'm sure there are medical dramas in anime. I'm sure that there are police shows in anime. There's a show about a guy who was in the Yakuza who like gets out and just becomes a house husband. Like there's
I mean,
there are high
shows
school
about
shows. There's shows about people who can spit fireballs. There's
your blood cells. I mean, you got your
yeah,
blood cells at work, like your white blood cells. There's shows
like
for everything.
there's some of everything. Uh, and so yeah, anime's got a wide, vast range of things that are available to you. There's a anime with a guy who has a chainsaw head.
I saw that. That definitely didn't draw me to it, but yeah, I saw
And I
that. That was
figure
a
I would.
thing.
It's definitely a
um
good show, though.
Inuyasha is just Tyler Perry in the form of anime.
Yeah, that's a very dramatic show right there.
I feel like that. I think that's what throws me about anime in general. The voice acting is just so over the top. It's just so like
Oh,
it.
I didn't even ask that. Brandon,
What?
I mean, the
Yeah.
people have to know. Did you watch it in sub or dub?
What is that? Like,
Oh,
explain to me.
my bad.
He
My
did you watch
bad.
it in English or with in
Yeah. Okay.
Japanese with
Because
subtitles?
I can't remember which one is what, but I watched it
So
in English.
okay, so you watched the dub. Okay.
Duh.
Yes.
Okay.
That's fine.
Yeah.
That's fine. But I
Sub
mean,
is
people
short for subtitle
Oh,
yeah.
that makes sense. Got it. Got
This
it.
is stuff people this is debate. Like people debate about sub versus dub all the time.
all the
And
time.
the voice acting.
And
Yeah.
honestly, the higher the more popular the anime, the more budget they put into voice acting, honestly. Like
Yeah.
the big ticket anime, they will get very legitimate English speakers to do the parts, but for the anime that aren't as popular, I think they just have like a rotation of the same people who do the same voices, and
Mm.
they range from all right to nah, you didn't put very much into that, did you? And
Yeah.
then also you run into issues where the sub and the dub don't match,
Gotcha.
Yeah.
because there's a difference between translating and transcribing.
Right.
So sometimes, especially on Netflix, if you have the subtitles on and it's in English, they won't match.
Yeah.
Damn.
Facts.
Yeah. The voice acting threw me off a little bit. It was distracting. It was just like way over the top. It's just like, all right, bro, we get
And
it. You want revenge?
a lot of times, whenever you have young people, that happens.
Yeah.
Like when they're young and angsty, they are young and angsty.
This was just like I've never met a human who's just like every other sentence
Over the
is,
top.
yeah, just I have to get my revenge. The
I will say
classic like
that's pretty
anime
anime.
sounds.
Yeah.
You're like,
Yeah.
what do you mean? I was like, oh my god, stop. Please stop. But
I will say I hate Aaron's voice.
yeah, it is rough.
But
Honestly, at this point, I do not remember Aaron's voice in English. Like I don't remember it at all.
well, and you're later where he's not that anymore.
That's
Yeah.
also very true.
Because that boy makes a change. Let me tell you.
Yeah.
Okay. Who wants to go next?
I mean, I don't know if
You
I
wanna
should do.
I feel like George is gonna be I think I know what George is gonna be. Was you wanna go?
Okay,
I don't even know
you want to go next, Spencer?
Sure.
Okay. So, Spencer, the show I gave Spencer, this is called Kuroko's Basketball. And the reason I chose this one is because we've talked about before, Spencer is not a big sports person as far as like playing them. And I feel like it's one of those things where this is one of two, I want to say, two of the biggest basketballs anime out there. And so that's the reason I chose it. Just because he's not a big basketball person, and he's probably never even watched a sports anime. Have you?
No, I was gonna watch the volleyball one, but
Haikyuu.
decided no, I don't need it.
Yeah. Um, I mean, feelings aside, like Kuroko's basketball, in my opinion, is very good. If anybody is a basketball person, I highly recommend watching this anime because they have some really good stuff. But Spencer, what did you think about
Wait,
Kuroko's basketball? Oh,
before Spencer goes, I will say I was highly skeptical of this choice. Now I've never seen the show before. Before you mentioned the sports thing, I was like, wait, what? You're giving it an anime? You watch this anime? But you're right about it. Spencer does not, mess with sports
Yeah.
like that. Even though Spencer, as you per usual, Spencer says he doesn't watch something or isn't interested in something, but then he knows a ton about it. So yeah, but I am interested in Spencer. What you guys say?
Um, this was I mean, I only watched the first 5 episodes, so it's a very standard anime formula. We have an anime protagonist that is small, very positive, and has no talent regarding what the show is about. And we have the secondary person who is very passionate, very naturally talented, and very angry, and immediately dislikes the main character, even though they are working toward the same goal. Like, that's a pretty standard anime formula.
Low key, that's
And
Attack on Titan. I'm thinking, yeah.
I mean, that is the formula, and you hit it right on the head. And this is also a coming of age story, so
Yeah,
you hit it right on
it's a
the
show
head.
about teenagers who are basically, in this like I'm gonna be the best there ever was type arc. And um yeah, I must say that this is also proof that not all anime is the same, because I, a fan of anime, can't say that I'm going to continue watching this.
What would you get a 1 out of 10? What you giving it?
I mean, it wasn't terrible. Again, it followed a lot of pretty standard anime formula, so I'm gonna give it. I'm gonna give it a 6.
Okay.
It didn't catch my interest really. And there was so I did like the idea of the main character, like pretty much being a ghost.
Mm-hmm.
Like
Yeah. So
his whole premise is like why he excels at basketball is because he basically hides his presence to the point where nobody knows he's on the court. So he uses the art of deception to rack up assists, basically. But
yeah. So
he has no
Brandon,
athletic ability. He can't
right.
shoot. Like, he is there to be a ghost. So somebody will pass it to him. He will immediately pass it to somebody else. And that moment of the other team not knowing what's happening will allow the talented one to go dunk.
So there's like Spencer said, like no one even recognizes he's even on the court. Like he will be standing right next to you, and you won't see him at all. Like he's that much of a non-threat. And so once he gets on the court, somebody passes him the ball, he can immediately do like a touch pass, Brandon. Like he's getting it out of there as soon as he touches it. And everybody's like, "Did y'all see that ball curve? Like, how did he throw that curve ball?" And it's like, no, dude just hide his presence so much that he's able to do that.
Now,
And like,
I'm, because this is an anime, I have to suspend my disbelief. But because it's pretty rooted in something very real, like there's no magic superpowers, there's no like extra shit. Like, it's just dudes playing basketball.
I will say, you keep going, you will see some powers quotations come out,
Because
which is
that's the thing.
nuts.
There are some people with like some very specific skills. So the first like mini boss essentially is a guy who can copy what you do but better, essentially, like very
Yeah,
taskmaster.
Gotcha.
So
that's good. That's a good one. Yeah, very
yeah,
taskmaster.
so yeah, like he would. So the secondary main guy who's like got all the talent, he would see him do a move, and then he would be able to do that same move, but because he's bigger, stronger, faster, better, it was better. um and so he was also like weirdly in love with the main character. um
That's weird because like that doesn't that you're talking about Kisei, right?
yeah.
Yeah, yeah, that's crazy. I never realized that, but I mean, he likes him, not like wants to
No,
be with him, but just likes him as a guy, as a
Wait,
homie.
what we
Because
talking
my
about?
boy get the girls.
yeah,
There's a
he
character on
got
there.
hosed, but
Yeah, he likes the
he
dude
has
as
a
far
weird
as like he like a
fascination with.
bro.
Yeah, okay.
Oh, got it. Okay, I
Because
was like,
it's
where we
like, why
going
are you
here?
like
It
how
felt
come no
more
one
than
can
that.
see you? Basically, yeah. I would definitely say that does not happen. This is one of the shows that ain't happening. Now the
Okay,
show that I watched,
we'll yep. Hold on,
yeah,
Yeah,
I'm sure we'll get there.
yeah.
And that's not necessarily an issue, but yeah. So it didn't resonate with me. And again, because it's so rooted in something that's very real, and um the fact that there aren't really superpowers, him being able to be so invisible that the opposing team doesn't see him is stupid to me.
well, that's because you ain't played with some real trash dudes. There's some dudes out there that's real trash, and you play with them, you be like, bro, they basically not even here.
But that's the thing.
That's exactly what it is.
I'm gonna know that they're on the court, and
Yeah.
No,
if somebody passes to them, like I'm gonna see that happen. Like I may not
you
be threatened that they score, but like if I
there's
see that happen once, if I see, oh, he's a dimer, then I need to only see it once to know what's going to happen. It shouldn't keep happening.
I guess that's true. Because I mean, I play with dudes who like they trash. I'm like, bro, I ain't gonna lie, I didn't even know who's on the court right now. Until y'all pointed him out, like I didn't even know he was on the court. He might even shot the ball a couple times. I might be like, damn, I didn't even see him shoot. Like he been there the whole
But
time.
wouldn't
But that's like also it's somebody's job to guard him. Like
thank you.
somebody on the court needs to always be aware of him. Period.
I mean, I don't play defense anyway, so it don't matter to
You
me.
damn sure
All
don't.
right.
But what about like, okay, so he's invisible, you're saying?
Yes, and to the
Oh,
point where not even just on the court, he will make himself invisible in general.
in life?
So like
In life.
you'll be like, "Hey, there's supposed to be 4 people in the room," and then he will start talking and be like, "I'm right here," and then he's in front of you, and
so
it's like, oh, "Okay, so I had no idea you were standing in front of me until you started speaking. Now I know you're here." So like he will scare the shit out of people because he just he barely exists.
I guess I just
No,
don't understand
You
how, like,
won't.
if I'm playing a team and they only have 4 players, like I'm gonna be like, hold on, my guy, and they throw into a spot that then
and the
that
ball just
spot,
disappears.
yeah, I'd be like, all right, fam,
And that's
timeout.
the thing. He'll be in traffic. Like there will be people near him
Fast
and
breaks.
around him. And they'll just pass it in the middle of traffic and then the ball will just veer as far as they know.
Yeah,
And
no,
yeah, like it's animated a
timeout.
little bit.
Yeah, timeout, ref. What we got going on here?
So
And that's the thing, like his weakness is the longer he's on the court, the more visible he becomes.
Oh
yeah,
god.
And I guess he also like he gets like yeah, like because he's unathletic, he gets tired relatively quickly. And one of the things that happened in the episode, uh the first mini boss, he like does a flagrant on him, like knocks his shit out. And
Yeah.
they just keep like everything's fine. They just keep going, like to the point where he has to have his head bandaged. Like he knocks the shit out of him.
He didn't get kicked out.
And
Nothing. No fight.
no, just kept going. Just like, oh,
when Japan, bro, they built different.
yeah, they just say, oh, he's not going to be able to play for a minute, sub him out. And they just
Yeah.
keep going.
That's tough.
And I'm like, no, get him the fuck. He almost killed that poor boy. Get him out of here.
Now, I will say so. A couple things. I this was my first sports anime, and I guess because I love basketball so much, like I recommend the show to people all the time. And like people I talk to who like basketball, like they love the show. So it's either between like this show and another show called Slam Dunk, which is the more classic one. But just to like tell you like some of the characters, the powers that they have. So Kuroko is the guy who Spencer's been talking about. He basically can hide his presence. He later on becomes like pretty good at defense as well because of that. We got Kisei, who's the guy who can basically copy your moves. So he sees what you do a killer crossover, he can do it. You do a 360 dunk, he can immediately do it. So he can do what you do. Kaguya is the guy who came with the raw talent. He actually came from America. Like he was in Japan, went to America to play basketball for a little bit, like in high school, in middle school, and then came back to Japan. And so he's like just raw talent. Like he's just pure athletic. That's what he can do. They got the captain. Like eventually, these teams I guess to go too far, they end up all playing on the same team at some point. But there's another guy named Kase. I think it's Kase. I don't remember his name, but he's basically the big bad of the show. But he got a killer crossover. Like you step to him, you fall, you drop, like you drop to your knees immediately, which is like his power. Like anybody try to guard him, they automatically fall. They got one dude. You think Steph Curry got a cold shot?
Yeah,
Medora.
that dude showed
Did you
up.
see him?
Yeah, like I haven't seen him play, but he showed up and he was basically talking shit to Kisei, basically saying like, what you can do is irrelevant. Anybody can dunk the ball. What requires real skill, and then he pushes up his little glasses.
Bruh, I'm telling you,
is shooting from long range.
Bruh, this dude is Steph Curry times 100. Bro, they will pass the ball in on one side of the court. He will take one step, out from passing it in, take the three, turn around, boom, all net. Like one game, he probably hit like 33s. Like it's crazy. So that's his ability. And then they got one dude who is just a giant. He's just a freak. He's just like a center, massive center, can't be moved. He turns on, dunks it, like he's just a beast. And so they're all 5 different high schools. They play at 5 different high schools, but they used to all play together in middle school, and then they all separated.
Gotcha.
They were called like the sacred team, or
it was like
shit.
it was like the Generation of Miracles, I think.
Yes, that's what they were called.
And then they got like a good 6-man who was the generation before him. Before them, they thought they was the Generation of Miracles until this new grade came up and beat them. But I'm telling you, anybody who loves basketball, like this show is fantastic. Like and it shows them like grinding throughout the playoffs. They get to the finals and everything. Then they even have a movie, like an and one movie too. Like there's like a whole separate movie. They play against like this American squad. Yeah, it's actually pretty funny. But okay. So Spencer, would you try out another sports anime?
Probably not. I think that I don't know. I don't think I like the in between. I either like for shit to be all the way normal or all the way magic and anime bullshit. Like I don't this whole like it's normal, but there's some like extra supernatural shit that like kind of is mixed in there, but like also not. And these are just regular humans, but like they have superhuman. No, either I need people who are just regular, like or on High School Host Club. Can't nobody do any kind of shit. It's just regular people, or I need people throwing fireballs and doing
casting
ninja
spells,
magic, flying,
blowing up planets,
doing hand shit. Yeah, like I need one or the people turning into shit. Yeah, like I either all or nothing. I don't need any of that in between with my anime.
Right. That's hilarious. I agree though. I mean, just hearing the show, I'm like, I don't think I mess with.
Brandon,
I want to say, Jordan,
I'm telling you,
you tried to get me to watch some.
I'm telling. This is the one I tried to get you to watch. This is the basketball anime. I'm telling you, bro. If you like basketball, this is the show for you.
I struggle because I even struggle with basketball movies because I'll be like, bro, that's trash.
And I think that might be because it's anime, so a lot of it is because one of the things that anime is really like famous for is like stuff that's happening in motion.
Yeah.
This show was a lot of like a lot of stills of what was happening. So like you would just see like somebody pass the ball and it's a still of somebody dunking. And then they would talk about what just happened.
I would definitely say that it gets better because they do 360 dunks and their crossovers and everything. I would say that does get better though.
Okay, because I hated that as far as Attack on Titan when they would show like people running, scurrying, and it'd just be a still picture moving around.
I think that's them trying to get around stuff too, like get around costs and doesn't have to like draw multiple things. That's why they do that.
Animating stuff is expensive, I imagine, and very time consuming. And so there are a lot of things where yeah, like you can just show a still of like very much like a comic book or a manga. Like that's what it's gonna be, is a still and then words.
Right.
So yeah, like I mean, I think it's a tool to be used, but not in this situation. And I just Kuroko's basketball didn't do it for me. And I know that I felt like that going in. Like I didn't think it was going to do it for me. That's why I never had interest in watching it. This is not the kind of anime that I would gravitate toward really under any circumstance.
Any
So
circumstance.
yeah.
Yeah.
Did you feel like this was out of your comfort zone?
Yes.
Okay.
Because again, it's not something that I would choose. It's not something that I
Gotcha.
would say, yes, I'm going to watch this.
Yeah.
Because, like you said, I don't. I will watch an NBA game. That's about the extent of my desire to watch basketball at all.
Right.
I don't want to watch college basketball. I don't want to watch WNBA. I don't want to watch basketball movies. I'm not interested. Like, I don't need it. I remember you mentioned the Disney Channel original movie Double Teamed.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I can't watch that movie.
Bro, it's solid, fam. I'm telling you. The little jab.
It's so stupid. That
it's a little rocky to sleep.
Yeah, that was so dumb. It was dumb then. And it's dumb now. And
bro,
like I can watch movies with basketball in them, but I don't know that I just need to watch a movie about basketball.
So you don't like Love and Basketball?
I don't hate Love and Basketball, but I do not love Love and Basketball.
Wow. Blasphemous. It's crazy.
I mean,
this is not the I'm Black Butt episode, but
I will say sometimes when I see basketball like in movies and stuff, it be looking hella acted. Even though like I know it's acted, but it just be like looking
that's why,
and then the goal be like a little bit lower.
That's why I struggle. Anytime people be like, "Man, watch that basketball movie," I'll be like, "Bro, I have a certain quality level. If it ain't White Man Can't Jump quality, if it ain't Glory Road quality, like
now
actual, you know what I mean?"
One basketball movie I really did like, and I don't even like. I guess yeah, you'd call it a basketball movie. Is the one with Adam Sandler and Queen Latifah.
It
was on Netflix.
The one, that's really good. That's a really good.
What movie is that?
It came out on Netflix. It was, it's a one word. I feel like he was a scout.
I didn't watch that. I know what movie you're talking about. Yeah. Hustle. Yeah,
it's called Hustle.
Watch that one. Really, that might be top 5.
Hustle's a really good movie.
That's really good, and you can tell it's like people who cared about basketball made that because all of it looks good. All of it's extremely realistic. Like that's how it would go. So yeah, that's a really good movie. I forgot about that one.
So yeah, like that's a good basketball movie.
Yeah,
but I would not say like a sports movie is not in my comfort zone. I don't think or a sports thing is not in my comfort zone. Kind of in general.
Gotcha. I like it.
So whether this being anime just meant there were a lot of anime tropes that happened, but even if this had been just an American made cartoon, or if this had been, live action, even, I can't say that I've just been like, the story didn't grab me. I just didn't do it for me.
Okay.
Brandon, I wish I could just pay you to watch like the first season. Like this is I'm telling you, you love it. I knew Spenser wouldn't like it though.
Like the whole Powers thing lost me. If it was just like regular kids
I low key got powers. If you think about it, I kind of got powers. Like when we play together, like we play ball, like I see the floor different than you see it. There is one dude I was there's one dude there's one power I thought was so ridiculous. There's one dude who they play against, and his power, he's a point guard. His power is called like Hawk Vision. He can basically see the court from like above view.
Oh my god!
He can, so when he would play, you would see the court from like above, like an old 2K camera. You just see everything above. I'm like, bro, what's going on? Like, what? This is stupid.
Yeah, they broadcast.
Yeah, that's what the broadcast camera. Yeah, but no, I'm telling you, this show is really good, man. It will. Brent, I truly think you'll like it. But yeah, I knew Spencer wouldn't like it. But you know, I
That's
had
funny.
to give
No,
it
I
a try.
like
I
it.
would say it. I was trying to think of a show for Spencer that would be out of his comfort zone, and I mean, it always kept coming back to sports, and
Yeah.
so I was like,
Spencer's a
I was like,
hard
okay,
person to because Spencer doesn't have like a ton of like black and white. I hate this type of opinion. So
yeah,
you know
Yay.
what I mean.
I'm accepting.
yeah.
Speaking of accepting, I think Jordan
Ah, great
is.
segue.
Oh man.
I think we're gonna
All right.
speak
Who
on
gave, who gave him the
something.
show? Oh yeah, never mind. I know who gave it to him. Go ahead, Brandon.
Yep, it wasn't me.
Okay. All right.
Now, whoa, before we start,
Okay.
I knew, Spencer knew, and Brandon knew. If Brandon got
I did
me,
not
I think
know
we all
at
knew
the
you was
time.
gonna
I did.
select this
And
for me.
I called it. I said to Jordan, I will bet money that this is the show Brandon's going to give you. And I said that before you
Yep,
gave it to him. And
yep.
was I right?
That's true.
I
You
ain't
was
gonna lie.
100% right.
I thought about something. Like I honestly was like, it wasn't on my mind initially. I was trying to think of something else. Then I was just like, you know what? Just for shit and giggles. And then I got Attack on Titan. I was like, oh yeah, this is a
Have
green
you
light.
even watched this show? Before you say what the show is, have you watched it?
Oh, absolutely, every episode. What you mean? I wouldn't give it to you if I hadn't
Spencer,
watched the full thing.
have you watched it, Spencer?
Absolutely not.
Okay. Okay, Brandon. All right,
Let
I'm
me
done
tell you,
interrupting.
I stopped at bet on it. I listened to Bop to the Top. I listened to The Status Quo. I listened to I Don't Dance. Some of those songs were fire, but
Oh,
um no, I did not make it to, like High School Musical 2. That's where I
oh,
stopped.
Spencer, you're revealing what it was.
Oh
Oh,
damn it.
there you go. There you
You go
go.
ahead, and get to it, Brandon.
Okay. So the the show I made Jordan watch was High School Musical, the musical, the series. And this is basically for those that don't know, it's kind of a uh, it's not it's a kind of a spinoff technically of the High School Musical movie that came out in the late 2000s that were really popular. And the funny thing about this show is it's kind of a spoof. So it's sort of like basically young kids in a theater program who their play of that particular semester is, a high school musical movie. So they're basically playing Zac Efron. They're playing whoever, I forgot my dude Zac Efron's name, Vanessa
Troy
Hudgens,
Bolton.
Gabriel. Yeah, Trip Bolden. Yeah, Gabrielle. Like they're playing all those characters. Later on in the future seasons, they do a semester of Camp Rock. They do a semester of Beauty and the Beast. I think they did Frozen or whatever. So it gets they do other Disney stuff later, but in this season, yeah, they're doing High School Musical 1. So yeah, and it's a mock. Is it mockumentary? Is that what we call it?
Basically, yeah,
Yeah.
basically, yeah,
So like
mockumentary,
Office style, where that
definitely.
cutting, directly looking at the camera and awkward moments, stuff like that. So I chose this because I knew Jordan, first of all, hates anything that has to do with their coming of age. He hates watching people grow and mature and go through life. He hates seeing any romantic stuff, anything like that, hates it. If it ain't some niggas in the hallway fighting, Jordan's not with it. So I knew, okay, music, and it's a musical. It got like music to it, and it's a like it leans in the corny realm. Like it knows it's corny, and it leans into it fully. And Jordan's like anti corny, even though that some of the shit he watches is corny as hell. But whatever. So yeah, that's why I chose this show because I was like, all right, this is gonna be hilarious. First of all, but also I did want to see what he thought. So
I mean, yeah, I've never ever in my life watched High School Musical. I've never had a desire to even watch 10 seconds of it. And so once I knew Brandon was my person, I was like, I got the show. Like and honestly, if I thought I was gonna get the movie, I didn't. But I was like, I didn't even know there was a show. Like I
right.
thought I was gonna. I think I was gonna have to watch the movie or something. So yeah, man, just turning on episode one. I mean, they very heavily lean into you should have watched the movie because they're
No,
already Yeah, they literally start out referencing. They literally the first like 10 seconds of the movie is that one teacher watching the High School Musical movie.
That's the funny part. I never. I'll say this for context. Before I watched this show, I had never seen a full High School Musical movie at all. Like I hadn't seen any of it. And the
Well, they
funny thing
want you to
is,
watch it after watching this.
no, they do. They definitely do, and they expect people just have seen it all by now. But I had. But go
Yeah,
ahead.
yeah. So yeah, I mean, the show is very corny. They definitely lean in on the corny, and I did a huge eye roll the first time I seen them. I didn't realize it was a mockumentary until
Yeah,
I seen the first time they did like the cutaway interview to like the one-on-one person, and the
yeah,
person looks at the camera and they do like the office style. Like I definitely
yeah.
like I rolled my eyes so hard. I was like, okay, this is what this is. I'm not. I can't take this. I thought it was gonna be like a serious show. Also like the teen drama in the show. Oh, the girl. I got to look up the character's name. I'm
You
forgetting
talking
the
about
character's like
Gina or Nene?
uh the one who's dating the dude. She left the dude during the summer
Yeah,
and she got a new
Nene. Yeah.
boyfriend now. Yeah. In the high school drama of it all, it's like, no, we were together during the summer, but then it had me wondering, like, dang, what happened during summer? Like,
I
I'm
know.
trying to see
Yeah,
this
we never know.
flashback of what happened during.
We
Yeah, I'm like, I'm trying to see the flashback. Like,
we never
bro,
know.
yeah, so they talk about that, and then EJ is just like, "Oh, I have to get you back, so I'm going to join the drama club." And it's like, bro, there's so much other stuff you could do to like try to win it back. You ain't got to go do this. And then like, this show, man, bro, this is a true cornball show. Like this is the definition of corny. And then like I'm trying to still figure out what's going on with the teacher who said she was in the musical. But obviously she wasn't in the musical. She must be like a scam artist or something. Like what
Yes.
happens with that? Go into because I mean, if I'm being honest, if I'm gonna rewatch it, if I'm gonna continue watching this, no. I'm giving this thing like a 2. I was dreading every
Oh
time. It
my
took me like
god.
4 days to finish one episode because I'm like, I'll start. I'm like, I can't do this. I suck it, so I would stop it and then press play on it again. It took me like 4 days to like finish episode like 3, and I'm like, oh, I got 2 more. And then let me tell y'all, I gave y'all got shows that's like 23 minutes, 24 minutes. Bro, my episode was 40 minutes long, 37 minutes long, 34 minutes long. I'm like, come on, man. And they barely showing credits. I'm getting like 2 minutes of credits. So I'm watching all that. I'm like, come
Hey
on,
man,
man.
they want you invested in the story. You know what I mean? But
Yeah.
but no, the
What
teacher,
happened with the teacher? Yeah.
the teacher Spencer, for those since you not didn't watch it, basically the teacher tells the students she's coming back to the she basically tells them she was a background in the original movies, and she had a line in the movie back then, but it got cut. So that like ruined her life, and so that sent her down a trajectory of like being a failed actor.
Which sounds dumb. How you a background character with one line and you get cut? Now your life ruined.
Well,
That
like
makes sense.
she was at the premiere. You'll find out later, but she attend as a kid, as an actor when they were premiering High School Musical 1, the movie. She gets in the premiere. She's like, "Oh, I bet I got this line coming up. Watch this scene. I got a scene coming up," and it didn't come up. So she's just suppressed and it sends it down or whatever. And she returned as like the failed actor. So she's now a teacher. But she doesn't really tell the kids I was the background. Like I didn't really do much in the movie.
Right.
So she's not necessarily a scammer, but she definitely lies. She definitely doesn't have any credentials to be a teacher. And the principal eventually finds out, tries to
Yeah.
fire
So
her.
that's what at the end of episode 5, like she gets a phone call from the principal. He's like, "Hey, I need you to come to my office on Monday."
Yeah, yeah. He figures it out, but they eventually figure it out, and she stays. But yeah,
So Spencer, some more of the drama, some more of the high school drama you see. I'm pretty sure that the best friend, what's his name? Was it Anton? Is that the best friend name to EJ?
oh,
No, I
Red.
don't know. Yeah, yeah,
You talking
Red.
about?
Oh
You
yeah,
talking about
yeah,
Richard,
Red. Yeah, Big
Ricky
Red.
Bowman? Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, that's his name. Uh, does he ever try to hit on EJ? Because he was kind of giving me some
Yeah, he
vibes like he
eventually
might try to shoot his shot. He does.
Yeah, eventually, I don't know why you see he
I knew
gay.
it.
Like, I
See,
don't know why they
I knew
try to
it.
make it like he a bro. Like, he
Yeah,
gay. Like, I, I don't
I knew
know.
that was going to happen. He was definitely
Yeah,
giving it giving
yeah, he
vibes.
definitely was. It was awkward as hell too. But
And
yeah, Ricky.
I'm sure EJ was like, "No, man, like I just want to be a friend. Like I thought we were cool." And like I'm sure
No,
he tried to attempt to kiss him.
no. It never gets to that point.
Oh,
I
okay,
would have been
okay,
way with that. No, he
okay.
eventually comes out as bi. Like him and the one girl get together. Him and
The little
Ashley.
fat.
Whoa,
Okay, yeah,
Whoa,
whoa,
yeah.
whoa, whoa,
Oh,
whoa,
whoa! I didn't say
whoa.
it.
yep,
The
Whoa!
I didn't say
This
almost
is
it.
slipped up there.
this is why I had you watch this show. This is just
We'll
exposing
say
you to all your toxic
the
shit that has to come out.
the plus size friend,
Oh my
the little
god.
plus size. Okay.
But yeah, Red and Ashton get together. They date for a while, and then they both figure out they're both gay, apparently.
Oh,
And so, yeah, I know, apparently, and so they go off and do their own thing. But later on, and but you keep calling him EJ. Ricky Bowen is the main character. EJ is the side dude who
Oh, okay.
she left him with. Yeah, they met
Okay,
during
okay,
theater
okay.
camp.
Ricky.
Yeah. But it's funny because like the show gets way better season. That's why I was like, season one, you're gonna hate it because the show gets way better. It gets way more like mature. Season four is like the last season is really good, and eventually Ricky and Gina are like the last couple. They get together, and that's
Yeah,
kind of the
because on the last episode, more drama. Homecoming is coming up, and so people are trying to figure out who they're going to go to dance with. And on the last episode, yeah, I see Ricky and Gina kind of get together. But anyway, Nene. Um, oh no, that's what I was gonna say. So we see that one dude. I got the cast list in front of me. I think it's Carlos. So he's already
yeah,
gay.
yeah.
I thought
He's
so.
already gay.
He got. No, I
Nigga
said
said
it
he
because like
already gay. I got you. I got you though.
he gets a date there. So I was like, okay, cool. And he's afraid of dancing in front of people unless they're like
Yeah,
theater kids. So
yeah,
it's like a big deal for him to go out there and his guy left him on the dance floor. But then they
yeah.
just break out into a random dance like all together. I'm just like,
Man, that's
yo, this
theater
is
shit.
mad
You know that.
corny.
You know how
that's
that
High
shit
School
Yeah, but
is.
I'm like,
Yeah,
bro,
that's
this
Disney
is
Channel shit. Regular, like,
yeah, like that's High School Musical. Like that.
yeah,
so then I
that's
was just thinking in
literally,
my head, so they all knew just the dance move to do
Yeah,
to each other.
they'll
Like
just
they
know the
all knew that.
choreography. Yeah,
Yeah, I'm like,
yeah,
yo, this is wild.
yeah, bro.
that's what it
You
is.
got
Like,
you were like 10th grade level. Like people
So
accepted that long ass time ago.
but just imagine like if that was your school and you go there and you dancing, then you see everybody breaking out and you're like, they all doing the same move. You're like, what's going on? Like what? Like
so that's the
I
thing.
just
I
think
mean,
about
yeah,
if I was in that situation, I'm
You would
like,
know
that's
the
weird.
choreography because
yeah,
you go to the school. So yeah,
exactly.
you would just hit that with them.
So everybody just
One,
knows it.
2, 3, 4, 1. Yeah, you'd be in that thing.
Uh oh, another comment. So of course the show is about drama.
Right.
Uh Ricky's parents get a divorce because in
Yeah,
all these shows somebody gets a divorce. Bruh, okay. So his mom been gone for 5 days. And he was like, all right, I already got to make a Tinder profile. They said they was going to divorce. 5 days
bro.
later, he's like, all right, I'm gonna get on
You wouldn't.
Tinder. The dad was depressed. He's like, yeah, you need to go and get up, get these new women. I'm like, bro, he moved on real fast. That was
Nah,
five
see,
days.
you didn't listen to the context. The mom been tripping. The mom been. You know how women are. If they leave you,
Uh-oh.
they've
Whoa,
been
what do you
left.
mean? What do you mean? What
I'm
do you
saying
mean?
that's facts. Women tell you that. Like if a woman breaks up with a guy, she's been broke up in her mind months ago. She just eventually felt like doing it. But
I
like
mean, I didn't know.
mentally,
I didn't know you spoke for all women, but okay.
I'm just saying that I know what that means, and they've said it. I've heard plenty of women say it. Now it doesn't mean all women, but she does say, "Yeah, we've been separated for a little while. She's been going back. She lives in Chicago. Like she
So then
left
why?
you
Yeah. So
and
then
a kid.
why is the dad taking the divorce so hard if he knew it was coming?
I mean, I think he knew.
Because
Like I
it's a
think she.
divorce. Like,
Yeah, I think that's the final. That's the. You think you got
Bro,
a
so
chance, and then boom,
nah. Then
divorce.
five
That's
days
it.
later, he's like, "All right, I'm on Tinder. Let me go and get a new date."
I mean, yeah, it's
And then the
Utah.
son, then the son,
a
he was
lot of
being all
people
super.
process trauma very differently, and honestly, there are a lot of men who would do that, like to
Yeah,
try to
probably,
prove
yeah,
they would try to prove that they're okay.
yeah. A lot of people would have had a Tinder before the divorce was even final.
Yeah, a lot of people. Yeah, a lot of people would have been on Tinder during the separation.
Exactly. Yeah.
And for a lot of people, one of the, I guess, general ideas about men and women is women will be sad early and then they will be fine later. Men will be fine early and then they'll get sad later.
Yeah. That
And
makes sense.
so, yeah, like him getting over it quick makes sense because he's gonna be sad later.
And he saw a teacher he thought was cute. You know what I mean?
Yeah, he was already ready. He was like, I'm in there basically. Like he saw that
Yeah.
teacher. He's like, I'm gonna go ahead and shoot my shot.
Yeah. Might
Uh,
as well.
also, I was telling somebody else that I was watching this show and how I was dreading it. Even my wife was like, "What are you watching?" I was like, "Man, I have to watch this show for the podcast." And she's like, "This is like not it." I heard there was some real life drama though. Dude, are you aware of this drama that happened?
Yeah. So Spencer, you may or may not. You know who Olivia Rodrigo is?
I do.
Okay. That's Nene. So
Okay.
what after the season so the season one happens, it's a hit. It's not like obviously not like big time hit, but for what it was for Disney Plus, it was a hit. Well, Olivia Rodrigo's album comes out, boom, right after season one. And obviously blows up. She's like not Taylor Swift level, but she's like the next Taylor Swift, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
Her and Ricky Bowen, the character Joshua Bassett, were going out. Apparently, he cheated on her. That's what led to her writing a whole album about him cheating on her. And that's what, obviously was a breakout hit, all that other shit. Um, and so yeah, that was kind of the main drama. Is like they had to come back for season two, and she had to film with a dude who cheated on her in real life and do like
And I
love.
heard that he cheated on her with somebody on the show.
Well, you might be
Like
right. I heard it was
in the later season.
So I heard it was the girl that was in Girl Meets World. The blonde girl. I don't know her name, but
The best friend?
Yeah, the best friend.
I was about to call her Sam because that's Carly's best friend. But
I want to say it's like Sabrina, something like that. But apparently he cheated on her with her. That girl isn't on this show, but apparently Olivia and that girl know each other. They obviously Olivia used to be in Disney Channel show called Bizarre Arc. So, but yeah, that was kind of the drama. Basically.
So he did what Lita did to Matt Hardy.
Exactly.
Well, there's a reference. There
Yeah.
it is.
And then they had to film a show together. It was mad awkward. Yeah. And that's why like High School Musical blew up even more because people was like, oh snap. And that's why like Olivia throughout the seasons, she shows up way less. Like season 2 is her last season of like actually being in every episode. Season 3, she shows up in one at the beginning episode, the last episode. And then she doesn't even show up in the final season. Like she's there like
so she's not a main character anymore?
No, it basically goes Ricky and Nene are like the main characters in season 1 and 2, and then Ricky and Gina become the main thing after that.
Gotcha.
But yeah, it's pretty good. But yeah, she I mean, it was funny, like some of the fans like got mad at her because she left. But I mean, she's a superstar. Like at this point, why would you stay on a random ass show?
I had never heard of her.
I assumed this show would just be like Glee.
I've never seen Glee.
Yeah, Spenser's similar, but a little more. I guess a little less theatery. Like Glee's just like straight up just
Glee
first scene
straight up like high school drama. Like a bunch of musical numbers, a lot of bullying.
Right, that's what this was.
But it sounds like the mockumentary part means that this show knows what it is.
Exactly. Yeah, and I kept every time they did it, I rolled my eyes and I'm like, oh my gosh, like they don't even do it good. No, they do. Like okay, Abbott Elementary is good with it. The Office is good with it. They tried to do that. It's like, nah, that ain't it.
Bro, it was good. What are you talking about? And it was like it wasn't no like that some people they be trying to write kids. Yeah, bro. Or they be trying to throw in slang that kids don't even say anymore. They don't even do that.
That's because these are theater kids. What slang they're gonna talk about? They just gonna say, this is let's go upscale on the beat. I don't know. I don't know what theater kids say.
Stop. Stop. Yeah, you act like these are like a bunch of nerds. Like these are
they really are though. No,
I mean, they say they're nerds, but come on, like nerds, theater kids
no.
don't look like that. Like, come on now, like I don't know, but none of them look like nerds.
What do theater kids look like? We didn't have theater at my school, so I mean, I don't know what theater kids look
Shocker.
like. I only
That explains a lot. That explains a lot.
yeah. And if there
Yeah,
was,
you would have
if
been
there was
talking
theater
shit
kids, I
about the
didn't
theater
know.
kids.
I
Exactly.
definitely
You
would
like,
have.
yeah.
Yeah, definitely would have.
But yeah, theater kids look like the big red character. That's what I expect theater kids to look like. Not like Ricky,
Even,
like Ricky or EJ. EJ
even,
played football.
yeah, yeah. Even Big Red was like he couldn't get behind the theater stuff, but then eventually he fell into theater stuff.
Yeah, and
But
that's facts.
man,
That's true. That's
this shit was
facts.
mad corny.
But
This show was mad corny.
Spencer Corbin Blue shows back up. Uh
Okay.
what's it? Sharpay's little friend. I forgot. I don't know his name.
Lucas Graybell.
Yeah, he shows up. What's the black girl's name?
Monique.
Monique. Yeah, yeah. She shows up. She comes back for season 4.
Oh, that's crazy. You guys are naming all these people. I don't know who y'all talking about.
Bro, I don't know where you were in about 2006 or
He
5.
was in the trap.
Exactly.
Was in the trenches.
Yeah, listening to T.I. and all kind of random shit he should have
Oh,
been
definitely
listening to.
2006. Oh yeah, T.I., Young Jeezy, Lil Ludacris.
See, we listen to that too, but we also have some complexities, and we could watch two things at once. We could do multiple things at once. But
Yeah.
but no, those were like the most popular movies on at least Disney Channel. I can't speak for everywhere, but
I mean, I remember how big it was, and I just remember seeing it. I'm like, ain't no way I'm ever watching this in my life. But lo and behold, look at that.
Well,
What,
and
10,
the
13
thing is,
years later,
at the end of the
watching it.
day, Disney puts out good music.
that's facts.
Like the people that are the music people they have at Disney, like we have seen time and time again that almost regardless of what it is, if it's a Disney item, the music in it's going to be good. I will watch the Cheetah Girls today.
Oh yeah, facts, slaps.
I definitely
Jordan
will.
doesn't even know
The
what the
music,
Cheetah Girls are.
the
I mean,
music
I did
in-
see the Cheetah Girls,
but the music in 1 and 2, fire.
Fire.
I don't
Fire.
remember 1 or 2 music like that.
That's fine.
All right. So, questions for both of y'all. What is one good show? What is one good thing about the show that you watched? Like, what was something good? Brandon, you started off.
Okay.
What was one good thing about Attack on Titan that you witnessed?
The good thing was the storyline, like the premise. Like that's the best part. Like the idea. I don't know. Like obviously, I didn't watch the whole thing, so I can't speak on the whole thing. But like the premise of people living in a not a dome, but like walls, trapped in due to these giants who are not intelligent enough to get over the walls until something changes that. Like that was a really good premise.
Spencer?
This might be a cop out, but like very genuinely, the show was animated well.
Gotcha.
Like it looked really good, really clean.
Gotcha. Jordan?
For High School Musical, I'm happy that they have a show for people.
Oh, see you, bro. You always find a way out of shit.
I'm happy that there's representation. There's a lot of representation in the show, and I'm happy that they have that.
Bro, this is what I'm talking about. No, that isn't.
Because you don't give a fuck about representation.
Yeah, you don't give a fuck. That is a cop out, bro. Like,
I will say that the graphics were very clean as far as like
was the music good?
The camera.
Did you like any of the
camera was
songs?
clear. I did not. There's not one song that I did like. Actually, I lie. Olivia can sing. Is her name Olivia Rodrigo?
Yeah,
she can sing. She had one episode where she had a kind of a solo song. I was like, oh, okay, she can really go. I didn't know she was famous until somebody told me that she was famous.
Yeah,
but yeah, she can really sing. So they got some really good singers. I'll give you that. I get to show that. Okay. What was something that you didn't like about the show, Brandon?
It was anime. No, I was just playing. The characters, just wasn't anybody who, like, I understand development, but at some point you kind of got to draw me in first. You can't just make them You know what I mean? Like you got to have a character I can latch onto first, and then develop them. Don't just make everyone either dislikable or could care. Like don't even make anything about them interesting for us to latch onto. So yeah, I would just say that the lack of characters um, for me.
That's right, Spencer.
Um, I it just didn't. I don't know. I feel like sports are not a place, or anime is not a place for sports, or sports is not a place for anime. Like those two
That's a
things
bold
don't go
statement.
together to me. To
That's a
me,
bold statement. Oh yeah, to you.
because it's really hard to um I feel like it's really hard to capture what anime is really good at, which is generally dialogue and like crazy action set pieces.
Yeah.
Um, very grounded sports don't sit well in that, in my
Okay.
opinion.
Okay. Let me get my scroll of stuff that I didn't like. Um uh I mean I didn't like that. Oh yeah, one my bad. One quick thing. I forgot to look at my note. Um oh never mind, I did mention it. Okay, never mind. All right. So one of the things I didn't like, I mean, I didn't like the corniness of the show. It was just
You
it
and
was
you just your favorite word, bro.
it really is. Like it's and if that becomes like a word that's like phased out, like we can't say corny anymore, I'm gonna be real sad on that day. But I'm just saying, like there was a lot of tropes that was kind of whack to me. It was a little rough.
What were the
So yeah.
tropes?
Well, obviously the one where the dude's friend, like you said, he ends up coming out as gay. Like that's a trope. I feel like he was trying to hide that. Like if you're gonna do it, I guess just do it. I don't know. Like I seen that coming. Like that, like that was very predictable. Like that's too predictable. Um,
I think that
the
that's one of those things that you will never understand because that's
that's
not
true.
your experience.
Right.
So
But it was predictable. I will say then
It
that was
wasn't. It
predictable.
wasn't that predictable. It was.
I
It
literally
was.
called it.
I mean, yeah. They. So Spencer, for context, he basically is like Ricky, who's Red and Ricky. Red is the one who we're talking about, who's potentially who's gay. But he was talking to his best friend Ricky, and he's like, Ricky's like talking about how like he lost Nene and how he has to try and get her back. So he's like studying the movie High School Musical 1 to try to get good at it so he can make the audition to get Troy
Big
and
Red, like I don't care about none of that.
and like he's like
I'm trying
Red
to
is
hang
trying
out.
to he's trying to encourage him and like I don't know. He says like some things that aren't like direct, but he just kind of like you can tell he has an affinity for him. So it's like, oh, okay, that's it's a
That's
little
predictable.
that's it wasn't predictable though. Like because they don't, and I guess because you haven't seen it, like they don't touch on him being gay or bi, whatever, for a whole 2 seasons. Like they don't direct. He has a girlfriend from
I
literally
caught
that
it
point
within the
on.
first 5 episodes.
But I'm saying, just because you call it, and then if he has a girlfriend for the next 2 seasons, what do you think? You don't. You're not gonna be like
I'm
that
gonna still
nigga
be like,
gay.
I'm gonna be like, I mean, he
You're gonna think
might.
about it, sure, but that's just because his mannerisms and all that stuff. But it wasn't like you know what I mean. But yeah, to me that
All I'm
wasn't
saying is I
predictable.
called
That
it.
was just kind of like, all right,
And then I guess because it's a musical, another trope is that they all do get together and they know the same musical dance number. Like I
you've
said,
never
they
watched a musical.
yeah, but that's a trope. I'm just saying that that's just a
What is wrong
classical
with it?
trope.
I guess
So
my thing is like a trope in a show knowing that this is it's called High School Musical, the musical, the series. So like if we know this is why I'm tuning in, all right, like you're watching a musical, like that's like you're not watching the NCI, you know what I mean?
and
NCIS, you're watching a musical.
I guess you already told me, but the deep drama between the teacher and the principal, like, oh, she's gonna get fired. She's gonna get fired. No, I bet you, don't even tell me. I bet your students all stand up for her and talk about why she should keep the job. Does that happen?
Technically, no, but No, that's a solid premise. If that would have happened, I'd be like, that's pretty normal. In this case, that's not what happens.
Okay. Okay. That's fair. That's fair.
Yeah.
Um, okay, so another question. So, in your group of friends, would you have recommended your show? Like, now that you've seen it, would you recommend this to other people that you know that may like it? Brandon, would you recommend Attack on Titan to anybody?
I mean, like you guys said, it's pretty popular. Most people like anime now because that's kind of the cool thing to do. And so yeah, I mean, I would recommend it, but most of them have either seen it or like saying they seen it because that's a cool thing to do is say you've seen an anime.
Oh, you
Uh,
haven't really seen it. Is that
yeah,
the cool thing to do?
yeah, but or to
Bunch of
say you're an
posers are
anime fan, even though they don't really watch anime, they watch Dragon Ball Z and kept it moving. But yeah,
bunch
that's
of
probably
posers, a bunch of posers out here.
yeah.
Spencer, would you recommend this?
It would take a very specific set of circumstances for me to recommend this. Like somebody would have to say they are looking for a sports anime, and I would then recommend it. But like just from jump or out of no, like if somebody said, "Hey, recommend me an anime," I would not recommend this. If somebody said, "Hey, what sports thing can I watch?" It would take me a while before I recommended this.
Okay,
If
that's
somebody
fair. I
said,
mean, I
"Are
will.
there any sports anime?" I know of a sports anime.
That's
That's
funny.
fair. That's fair. Wait till
Jordan,
this come out and people hear this and they're gonna be like, "Yeah, Kuroko's basketball is that thing." But would I recommend this? I mean, definitely, I would not. I would not recommend this to anyone in my circle. If someone was like, "Hey, have you ever seen High School Musical?" I can now say, "Yes, I've seen the first 5 episodes of High School, the musical, the series, or whatever the name of this. What is it called? High School, the
You got it
musical.
right.
Yeah, the
No, you
musical,
got
the
it
series.
right.
Bro,
Don't try to front.
that
Yeah, you
is
got it right.
Had an
All that
extra
time,
V in
bro.
there, but that's fine.
there's a lot of musical around here. But
Yeah,
yeah,
I
that's
mean, you should recommend. People, I recommend it to people, especially people who like I know like actually watched the movies in real time or the old movies in real time and like loved them. I didn't, but I know people who did, and they it's a lot of references towards those. Or if
how
you
many
like
High School
Disney,
Musicals is there?
Three.
huh? Yes,
There's
three. Yeah,
three
yeah,
Yeah, there were two on Disney Channel, and then the third one I think came out in theaters.
yeah.
theaters. What the heck?
Yeah, it was
High
big
School
time.
Okay.
Musical was very popular and very successful. Like they're still cranking out.
Dang,
They're still making
that
money
was
on it.
back to that was back to back to back. So wait,
Yeah,
so the last one came out in 2008, and then the
yeah,
TV series didn't come out until 2019. So 10 years later, basically.
yeah. It's not related, but I mean, it's related, but it's not related. You know what I mean? That's why like people that's why like they got a few people to come back and be a part of it, but the point of it was for it to not be a remake. They wanted it to be kind of like a like they even talk about on the show like how people wore they talk about people dressed in 2008 and all that shit.
And that's the thing. Like this is normal. Like we see so many shows do spin-offs or remakes or just making money on nostalgia. Like that.
Right.
Like that's very normal, and it's been normal for a while. But like especially now,
Yeah.
it's been a long time since I feel like I have seen something that wasn't a remake, a reimagining, or a sequel of something.
That's true. I will say like the thing about this show that I really I saw another person say this and I thought it was good. They were like, if this show wasn't called High School Musical, the musical, the series, and it was called something regular, right? Some random name, unrelated, it would be like, especially season four, right? It'd be up for a lot of awards. But because of the name, obviously people don't take it seriously. And it's on Disney Plus, which hasn't put out great non-Marvel, non-Star Wars content. Uh, so yeah, it automatically gets kind of dumped down to the, you
And I
know,
think I think that is one of the problems with using a previously existing property to rake in money on people's nostalgia, because one example of that would be the Bel Air show. If
Oh
that
man,
if that was not tied to the First Prince of Bel Air at all, and it just existed on its own, then
yeah,
it would have probably been like I would have probably spent some time on it, actually wanted to watch it, and could have potentially enjoyed it. But the fact that they tied it to the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air just to grab money, like it's unrelated entirely.
Entirely. Besides character names, that's it. But none of the
Yeah.
characters behave the same.
Yeah, like everything about it is different. So like, why did we do that?
Yeah.
And
This one's a
Cash
little
grab.
more tied, but no,
and yeah, like this one
exactly.
uses references and
Yeah.
like pulls stuff directly from, even pulls in some of the old cast.
Yeah.
So like this, while they said it's not, it's absolutely like a
Yeah.
spinoff.
No, facts. That's facts.
But
no, you're
yeah,
right. It definitely be taken more seriously. It'd probably be taken more accepting. People would have been more accepting of it. They treat it like a normal Netflix coming of age story show. You know what I mean? Rather than, okay.
Because I will say that's one thing I like about Netflix is a lot of the stuff that they do is just stuff. Like it's not
facts.
tied to anything. Like it's just independent stories that are being told. And I really enjoy that because it feels like a lot of people will use IPs or pre-existing properties to get people in the door.
Yeah.
When it's like, but you wanted it to be completely separate and unrelated to that. Like these two things don't even make sense together.
Right.
And so for you to just try to grab money by tying this popular thing to it is ridiculous.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
That's tough. That's why Netflix is trying to get your $22.99 to get coming up with the original ideas.
Yeah,
well,
they tested me.
Netflix can kiss both sides of my black ass. They're not getting my money.
Yeah, they're trying to get that to that 22.
It's so good. It's just so much good content on there.
Yeah, but
it's tough.
I will profile share until they stop me.
Yeah, I might have to drop something.
Spencer not gonna do that. Netflix, just in case Netflix listening, they potentially want to sponsor us. Spencer plays. I mean, he pays for Netflix. Brandon pays for Netflix, and I pay for Netflix. Spencer didn't mean what he said a while ago.
If Netflix is gonna pay me, I'll pay them.
They gonna pay you like $15.99, so you still got to pay the difference of the $22.99.
That's funny.
Yeah. Okay, y'all got any questions?
No, it was a good exercise. I appreciate y'all participating. You know what I mean? Stepping out. You know what I mean? I think Spencer definitely had to step out of his comfort zone with the basketball. I would have hated watching that, so I couldn't imagine if I didn't like sports.
I'm telling you, Brandon, you will not hate this. I'm letting you know right now. You won't hate it.
You might.
Yeah. You might actually. Yeah.
Because I feel like there are not very many things I don't like.
That's true.
And I also tend to be a completionist. Usually, if I start something, I want to finish it just because I want to know what happens.
Exactly.
For myself. And, you know, because there are so many shows and because, you know, I'm a busy adult, I just have a feeling I'm not going to find the time to make it back to Kuroko's basketball.
I don't think. I think if you had a full day of not have to do a damn thing, you wouldn't go back to that show
because there are too many shows.
So you don't want to find out if Sayreen even makes it to the playoffs, to the winter, the Winter Cup, or like you don't want to know. You don't know if Kuroko ever finds if he can shoot or not. Man,
I do not.
Jordan, you don't want to know how Gina and Ricky come together after being friends to enemy story?
I will say that that is also kind of predictable because on that last episode I saw she kissed him on the cheek, and I was like, oh, they must be going to become a couple.
That's how good it is. That's a callback to. They don't even get to that till season 4. You get to actually what happens is, just so you know, because I know you're not going to watch it. EJ and Gina get together, and we think, oh, okay, that's the couple right there. That's in game, and then they break up, and then Ricky, you know what I mean, kind of the main people you thought should maybe probably get together. That's what ends up being together. And then once Nene gonna leave, I guess. But yeah, that's probably the best storyline. The rest of them, I mean, hit or miss.
Brandon, I assume that I assume there are, but who are or is the black main character?
In this show,
Yes.
Courtney. She's
I'm not
really
saying
good
seen
at
her
this.
yet. I'm not saying seen it. Oh
She's
yeah, yeah.
Nini's best
The
friend.
friend. Yeah, the friend. I
Yeah,
forgot. Yeah.
and that's what's good about it. She starts out as the trope, kind of low key, the black girl best friend, right? The quippy, got a little attitude. You know
Definitely
what I mean?
quippy.
Yeah, but she ends up becoming a very big part of it. They actually have a lot of a big episode about where she's struggling about in the final season. She's struggling about what
Or
college she
wait.
wants to go to.
Oh,
Bro,
Wow. Okay. That
what?
I'm
I
just
know
saying.
who
I'm just
Courtney is
saying
now.
that
Okay.
is a high school. Is that not a high
Wow.
school thing
Nope.
to be
Nope.
concerned about?
Nope.
I
She
guess
literally never.
I know who Courtney is now.
Wow. Jesus. No, she never had any weight issues, never had a question. She was fully confident in who she was. Geez, Jordan. That was that was toxic
Right
as
to the
fuck.
jugular.
But yeah,
I'm just saying.
she eventually struggles with because she's really smart. She's a really good actor and singer, all this other stuff. And so she eventually tries to figure out and stressing about what college she's going to go to. She wants to go to either Harvard or whatever. But her mom, who's a recurring guest, is like, "Why don't you check out this HBCU?" She's like, "I'm good. I'm good on it." She's like, "Just go." She visits, finds out there's a choir. Figured out she's obviously a great singer, and yeah, she ends up going to HBCU. So it's real. It's a lot of like her storyline grows and grows. So like, yeah, she starts out as a trope, but it kind of gets better. So
Now, Spencer, if you like High School Musical, how come you never seen the show?
I liked the first two High School Musicals, and I didn't necessarily like the movies. I liked some of the songs in them.
Gotcha.
yeah, that's a few bangers.
Like, Bet on It is fire.
Yeah,
Never heard of it. I think the only heard song I heard is "Get Your Head in the Game." I think it's the only song I've ever heard.
You gotta get your head in the game. You gotta
But yeah,
get your head in the game. Come on, man. I
yeah,
will
man.
say the basketball is awful, but
Oh yeah.
I mean, I would assume it probably is.
it was putrid. Like Zac Efron looked like he never touched a basketball in his life.
He probably had before this.
Disney doesn't have very good basketball because in the musical episode of That's So Raven, Eddie has a whole song about basketball.
Oh
And
yeah,
yeah, the basketball in that is not
bro.
good.
They dribble like a mom. Like they just put it in front of them, bounce it, and they're like, "You got to dribble. You got to get in the head." of the game. It's like, all right,
Doing
bro. Like,
the basics you
yeah,
learning like when
yeah.
you're
Like you pick
6.
it up. Yeah, it's like the old dad trying to show you how to play, but all he does is pick the ball up, shoot it, never dribbles, never shows you his whack ass handle. Yeah,
It's like if basketball is my favorite sport. It's like
exactly.
it feels like that's happening.
Yeah, facts. Yeah, man. But nah, bet on it. Fire. There's so many good ones. So many good ones.
Now,
I-
I do have one more question actually.
okay.
If you had the other person, so Spencer, if you had me, Brandon, if you had Spencer, you guys know what I'm going for.
Yeah.
Is there any shows you would have recommended? Like I know for me, if I had Brandon, I probably would either have Brandon watch Chainsaw Man just because it is so crazy, or Jujutsu Kaisen just because I love it so much. Um, any other shows y'all would recommend it? Like if you had the other person.
Spencer, I would have recommended Power Rangers in Space. That's the best. Or no, Power Rangers Lost Galaxy. Because you don't have to know the whole backstory. That's kind of by itself. It's a top 5 season ever. And it's in space. I think he would enjoy the in space part. It's not too much backstory you gotta learn. You don't have to know the full Power Rangers backstory. I think he'd at least be like, oh, that's solid. You know what I mean?
I'd have to think about it because
Gotcha.
I don't have a show off the top of my head that I feel like is really out of your comfort zone that I enjoy or like that I know well enough to talk about.
Yeah.
I'd have to think about it. I'm sure there is one because I've watched
I would
all kinds of random shit, but I'd have to think about it.
I would think like Arrow or what I mean, something
I mean, because
DC.
DC, that's not out of his comfort zone because Jordan's a fan of DC. We've seen that.
No,
And
it would have to be Supergirl. Supergirl would be perfect. Corny, a woman led show.
Whoa,
Yeah, whatever it is, it has to be. Yeah, it has to be female led.
that is
Um,
wild. You guys are like putting this energy on me right now. This is
What do you
wild.
mean?
don't
We
act
heard what
like
you
it's
just
not.
said about 10 minutes ago. Come on, bro. Yeah, I would do Supergirl for Jordan just because female led show uh
The
leans into
pro-
the
the problem
corniness.
is the first 5 episodes of Supergirl are not great.
That's true.
Like
That's
that,
true.
it takes a minute for Supergirl to get good,
It's true.
and
That is
so like
facts.
I I would like if he was like, "Yep, it was trash." I'd be like, "Well,
That's fair. That's fair.
yeah,
Yeah,
that's it's not a terrible assessment because
it's a little slow because you have to talk about how she became Supergirl and all that stuff, or like her story, how she got hired in the newspaper, all
I
that.
might have him watch Gumball or something.
Bro, I used to
Okay.
watch Gumball.
Yeah, I
You
feel like
did
that's in
okay.
his zone. Anything Cartoon Network, I'm not giving Jordan.
Yeah.
Well, because
Cartoon
Gumball is
or
one of them new
Nickelodeon was
cartoons.
my thing. Oh wait,
But
you talking
Gumball
about
is
the
so
Amazing World of
funny.
Gumball, right?
Yeah, Gumball is so funny.
Yeah, I got down with Gumball.
I'll give Jordan That's So Raven.
Bro, I've seen That's So Raven too.
That's Raven's really good.
Yeah.
I'd have to think about it. I don't have anything off the top of my head, but I'm sure I'd come up with something, but right now I don't have one.
That's fair. Yep. That was all my questions.
Hmm.
Anything else?
That's it.
I don't think
Y'all
so.
have any comments or anything? Hit us up.
Yes,
Let
let
us
us
know.
Let
know.
us
Let us know what you think about the shows we had to watch.
Yeah.
yeah, that's perfect. Like let us know what you thought about the shows that we watched, were they fair assessments? Should we continue watching them?
Yeah.
Let us
What
know.
shows you guys would maybe suggest to us that's out of our comfort zone? Because I'm sure there's plenty since you got, especially if you're a weekly listener, like, well, I'm sure you have.
You know where we're comfortable.
Yeah, I'm sure you probably have something on your mind and you're like, that would, yeah, you would hate that.
Yep. So with that being said, we're never duplicated.
Always appreciate it.
And forever melanated.